Note: the game is intended to be played in Old Scots English. There's a glossary of terms you can access from the help menu at any time during the game if you don't understand a particular word or phrase. Oh, we have a choice. Well, you know what? We are being given help. Let's try and stay true to the vision. Warning, this game depicts scenes of torture and religious zealotry. Sun flashing lights. I can't wait. Because the black and white background, the flicker of scratches on film. I can already tell this is going to be quite a unique experience. Hello everyone, and welcome to Daemonologie, an adventure game in which we play as a witch hunter during the Scottish witch trials. Also, thanks so much to the creator for providing me with this free key. Six residents in a remote Scottish village. A witchfinder summoned to sort their truths from lies. On the fifth dawn, a witch must hang. Best you know who by then. Oh, look at this. A sundial marks the time of day, and a bar advances to show us what day we're on. So it seems like there's going to be a bit of a deduction element here, trying to determine who, if anyone, is the witch, but I mean, who knows? How do we know if anyone is a witch? Ah, this is so cool. That intro was like, it was full 3D, but the way it moved, I'm honestly not sure if that was like in-engine or actual stop motion. And just the style, like how even the game's UI feels like a film from like the early 1930s or something. Like bleak and dreary, like a retelling of an old fairy tale. Okay, well, we can choose where we want to go from the map. Let's probably start by heading to the church, right? Oh god, maybe I really will need to change it. Look at that, as we move the mouse around, it actually pans the view. It's like, oh, wow, it really is like looking at a pop-up storybook. Let's talk to the priest. And we have the option to talk or torture. Well, presumably we'll want to hold off on that until we've got a bit more information, right? Let's talk. Bid ye welcome, Witchfinder. God be here. Okay, Father Usaby, is how we would pronounce that, or Useby? Maybe he's past his use-by date. Certainly looks like it. To what reason does our wee village owe the pleasure of this visit? I'm summoned to tend to a wolf in your flock, Father. A wolf in my flock, you say? Vexing news indeed. If you may make use of me in your hunt, then pray let it be known. When you will, I am ready. And there's a number of things we can ask. I wonder if the time limit is based on, like, actions or, like, some kind of real time. From what I understand, this game is meant to be played through multiple sessions, and the story itself is not all that long. So presumably there's a lot of room for us to screw things up here, which only makes sense. We should ask how many reside in this village. There's 6 of us of late, though not long past we were 9. So, you were cut down in very short order. The blacksmith's wife sleeps in my garden. Fever took her this winter. Okay, I'm gonna need to... This isn't even like a language thing. This is literally just me being an idiot. I was like, well, God, that's weird. Shouldn't she go home? The shepherd's husband fled, leaving unpaid debts, the wretch. So not all of them died. And the ungodly woman by the ring of stains had a gentleman caller, though none have seen him this week past. So only one died, but we've got people missing as well, or leaving. How long have you served here? 4 and 10 years this autumn. Though it feels as 40. You look as 40. Alright, well, now on to the important part. Have you spied anything amiss as of late? I hope that you uproot the evil that plagues this land. I have seen that filthy woman, Lilius, by the ring of stains, dancing with black shadows of a night. That's an extremely specific report, sir, thank you. We have all the information we need there. But it figures that's who you jumped to. It doesn't really tell us much. And returning takes time, so it is by action. So we can fill this bar however many times, and then each day is our overall time limit. Well, let's head over to the Ring of Stains. So you just hang out here, huh? My, ye are the charming devil-like. What ails you, sire? Already starting on your business, huh? There's nothing my herbs and roots can't cure. Taught by my own dear mother. Who else resides here? Just a handful, my lord. The smith Oswin can craft or repair almost anything you present him. An old crone bides by the woods, though she has some strange ways about her. Shepherd Violet tended a flock with her husband, but I haven't seen him of late. I wonder if they're having a row again. Also, Father Useby keeps the church. Seek not salvation from him. His mind is turned to zealotry, and worse. Of course, there's sweet Firin, over by the water's edge. He may look monstrous, but he's a kindly soul. Okay. Have you ever communed with Satan? Me, sire. Not I. Wouldn't even know how. With insight? So it actually matters the order in which we talk to others. The priest claims he spied you dancing with black shadows at night. I've danced with no shadows, sir. Since my love has gone missing, I've seen rare reason to be dancing at all. It's strange that Father Useby should be slinking around here at night, don't you think? That's a very good point you make. So I'm actually more suspicious of him than her at this stage, although that's still not saying much. Okay. Well, let's speak to the crone of the woods then. Oh, look at you. Would not be the 1600s were it not for you folks wandering around in the dead trees. So I really have license to just torture, huh? Old crone Griselda. What kind of excrement are you to be trespassing in my woods? This village is full of witches, and I'll curse ye. A curse of boils on your Oh, wow. Wow, lady. Lady, this is a family show. I'm gonna torture you now. Bite your tongue, woman, or I shall remove it from your head. Just what you would be wanting with my tongue, eh? You dirty pervert. All souls in this village shared their something with Satan. Take your pick. You've been ostracized, and they believe it's because you speak to the devil, and you believe it's because they do that you've been kicked out. Either way, the feelings are certainly harsh between you. The sun is starting to go down, and we're about to lose a day. That's plenty of time to visit each location, although not all in a day. Leads me to believe that things will be changing as time goes on. Let's check over by the shepherd's abode or the smith's abode. Let's go to the smith's. Oh my, look at you. I love the art design and just the style of this game. Like, it has the look of like a 90s adventure game UI. But the feel of 30s film and just the darkness and feeling of aloneness and smallness in a big scary world of 1600s superstition. Look at you. Blacksmith Oswin. Ho there, Witchfinder. Good morrow, Smithy. Aye, it was me that sent for you. The shepherd has cursed me jaw to fall loose. That's an instrument meant to hold your mouth closed. Though I strapped and welded it back on. Well, modern problems require modern solutions, I suppose. Make sure to give that cursing witch the short drop. You welded your jaw back on? Aye. Look what she's done to me. There's no doubt this is witchcraft. Or any number of bone or joint disorders, but I guess we wouldn't know about that. God, imagine living in a time like this where you can be accused of being evil just because somebody in town is having medical problems. What do you do here? A wee bit of this and a wee bit of that. Mostly house and plow repairs. There's scarce demand for cudgels and bucklers around these parts. I mean, have you tried taking up solar? Who else is in town? You mean besides that blasted shepherd? Yeah, who else? Well, there's the old priest, Father Useby, in the church. Then there's that fishin' fella hangs out by Bothwell's Bridge. He's alright, like. And that saucy wee bit out by the ferry circle. Can't forget about that. Help. Help. And Crone bides by the woods. So we've met our outcasts, and we've met our law-abiding citizens. And so far the outcasts seem to be the most understanding of the bunch. Okay, we've already seen all this. Let's return. This is a dream. I was watching that. I just noticed the UI is still there. Wake up. It may have just been a dream, but we may have taken that as confirmation that something is trying to get to us in our sleep. I mean, nobody's seen a witch, but I guess it's just the impressions of misfortune around us that lead us to believe there is one, that someone is guilty. What manner of sorcery be this? Alright, let's speak to the man by the bridge. Oh my god. That's not any medical condition I know of, unless that's all hair and you suffer from some form of lycanthropy. Fisherman Farron. Aye, me a witch, eh? Not but tall tales, you daft wee zealot. Find you no witches here. Just simple folk working the land. And what is your business here? Besides catching all these wee fishes, my business is my own. At one word, tread carefully, fisherman. Spied anything weird as of late? Truly, life itself be strange when you ponder it. Very philosophical, but I was asking you a straight-up question. Okay, you're of no help. Let's go speak to the shepherds, then. The only ones we haven't yet. Doesn't look like your stock are doing too well. And you just seem done with it all. Shepherd Violet. Witchfinder, you see the curse that's been laid upon me? That vile blacksmith sent his wolf familiar to slaughter my sheep. So all of these things have, like, normal outside explanations. A wolf killing your livestock, a medical condition causing your jaw to unlock. But all this misfortune so close together, it's hard to see that as a coincidence. I demand retribution. With insight, we can say that Oswin claims you'd cursed his jaw to fall off. Lies. Most likely he did that to himself in one of his failed experiments. What do you do here? What kind of question is that? Did you spy them sheep as you walked in here? Oh, I spied them all right. Do you love God? Honestly, the way of things these days, I'm inclined to ask if he still loves me. I'll have your respect, or by day's death I'll have thee swinging. All in jest, sire. I'll speak no more of it. But without more insight, we can't do much more. Now that we've spoken to them, though, I mean, we can either go back to the shepherds, or we can go confront the woman in the fairy circle about the dream we had last night. Some kind of spider goddess singing in the night. Seemed a lot like her. My mother is gone, but I carry on her healing arts in her stead. There's no soul here who's not taken my healing, except perhaps the priest, who just look at me with strange glances. Yeah, that does tell the whole story, doesn't it? I mean, so much of old religious zealotry, I suppose, can be explained as people being incels. Guilt and shame and hypocrisy. I know he doesn't approve of my young love, Gavin. Pray tell, who is this young love you speak of? My sweet Gavin, a stable hand from the next village over. We've been courting a couple of years now while he's saved enough to do right by me. You haven't seen him on your way into the village, have you? No, wench, I have not seen him. Oh. End conversation. So, like, that's... The important thing that's happening that has to be noted here is that even though I'm looking at this from a modern perspective, our character is, well, a 17th century witch hunter. So his values and the way he sees and processes the world are going to be very different from ours. Alright. Well, we've not seen this Gavin. Let's head back to the Smiths. The shepherd cursed me, for she says the fence I built her was no good. She blames me for the wolves that got her sheep, but the fence is fine. No doubt she left the gate open, and then she cursed me for my jaw fell off. It's accusations on top of accusations here. Violet claims you sent a wolf to her door. That lying witch! There's no truth in a claim like that. And you're ending the conversation here. So now what do we do? Let's head back to the priest and confront him about what he's doing around the fairy circle at night. The evil music that plays in here when we enter is certainly a point against you. Witchfinder, for one hunting devils, you're spending far too much time searching in the house of our Lord. I believe vermin rush to shadows, not bask in holy light. Tarry here no longer. I exclude none from my search. I could say that, but just in case we don't get a chance. There are others who would say differently. Which of these wretches dare speak ill of me? The very same you would point the finger at. Do not test me, Witchfinder. I am a man of the cloth. Her by the ring of stains is the witch, for she has slain 3 babes no less. That's quite a claim. Do you have any proof? Like, any at all? This day is also not ending. Let's speak to the crone again. Curse ye. May your eyes burst with ants. Lady, I have a lot of things I can learn from you. And a curse on that priest and all. He prays, pointing his hands down like he's praying to Lucifer in the underneath. When did you spy him doing this blasphemous act? The morrow? No. When have you seen him perform this act? Seen who? The morrow? We can go back and forth for a long time on this. That is so funny. Are you still at that witch business? I can hardly confess to something I ain't. Come now. I'll fix us some nice trout or tuna flesh for supper. What is the nature of your affliction exactly? Well, from what I hear, my father was the same way. Head to toe in hair. Ah, so it's a genetic condition. Why do you tarry here while the blacksmith is still breathing? I spied him yapping to his familiars. A slack-jawed raven and a gray wolf. He sent the black wolf here to slaughter my sheep, for I refused to pay him for the tiny, feeble disaster of a fence he erected. Okay, so back to him with another accusation. It's just he said, she said. Nobody can actually prove anything. The shepherd cursed me, for she says the fence I built was no good. Yeah. Have you done work for the shepherd before? Only with her man. I never had much dealings with her, till he up and left. 'Twas peas in a pod, that lot. He still owes me a... Scottish sixpence, aka money. Alright. It seems like it really wants me to start torturing people now. Like, that's the only way I can get ahead. It said if someone is just repeating themselves, then that's what I should do. But the problem is, I'm looking at this with modern eyes, and I'm thinking, I'm not really seeing great evidence of much right now. Let's torture the priest. It'll weigh the least on my conscience. Tongue prongs. A simple and certain way to loosen the tongue of the accused. Iron clamps are tightly attached to the victim's tongue and pulled firmly from the head. Oh God, I was worried it would be a mini-game. Left click and hold to start pulling the clamps. Release to relax a little. Don't pull too fast or the tongue will slip from the clamps, and you'll have to start the process again. Oh my god. And all the while, we've got to listen to your screams. Have mercy, or may Azrael strike you down. Why do you molest me so, while she still walks free? I've seen her taking newborn babes out of that pagan spiral. I pray she takes the short drop. Your mind seems fixed upon this maiden. What is she to you? Not maiden, not but a blaspheming pagan harlot. You didn't reveal much. Let's torture her then. She is the center of our dream. So we kind of have to. Pillowinkles. A rather simple device that can be placed onto any of the accused fingers, although thumbs can be very effective. To loosen their tongue, you must tighten the screw. Oh, I am familiar. Click to wind up and left click again with maximum strength to twist tight. Repeat this until you hear the bones crack. This is far more extreme than the other thing. No. Oh my god, really? We're far worse than a witch. Oh my. We're far worse than a witch at this point. Does nobody try to run away? Please, sire. There's no witchcraft in these healing herbs. Inform me then. What is of them? Not untowards. Just a bit of lavender, some rosemary, and lady's bedstraw. That priest sent you here, did he not? He did. I would rare speak ill of another person in this village. But I feel he is a shadow looming over us all. His slimy tendrils grasp us tight. A real beast in sheep's skin. Usby claims you've taken newborn babes out to the spiral. Would that it were true. Tears now streaming down her face. Gavin and I almost had a wee one of our own. Father Usby says it was an abomination on account of us being handfasten. I assume that means not married, right? Let's find out. You'll not tell Gavin if you see him, will you? Okay. And now time is advancing. A victim in the woods turned to a tree. And it started to rain. Maybe that was meant to be Gavin? Well, that would certainly seem like that brings our search back to the crone. But that witch makes an appearance again. Is there perhaps anything we can investigate here? You're still not talking. Part of me starting to think in for a penny, in for a pound. You've got nothing new to say. You've got nothing new, so I guess that's it then. Back to the forest. Duck and the Witch. A witch is a filthy, unclean creature. Let the waters wash away their sins and slacken their jaw. Left click and hold to submerge the witch in the river and watch as the water fills their lungs. Release the click to bring them back up. Time it so they surface during the highlighted area. Perform this action 3 times to break them. We pulled on the priest's tongue. We're drowning you. Those broken thumbs aren't going to heal back quite so easily. We're just going in with, like, no sense of guilt. Look, we've got a whole rig. Oh, we can go a little high if we don't pull you up in time. To think all of these things are real, too. Like, these were all things that people did to each other. And the fact that I'm having a hard time with it is not making it any easier for you. Okay, release. The goal is going to be to release earlier than I think. Come on. Ah, these timings. That's 2. 3. I am the witch, and I curse ye again. That shepherd and fisherman are filthy witchers and all. They feast upon festering carcasses like buzzards of hell. They'll feast upon your festering carcass and all if you don't tight their filthy necks. Claim both of them. A feud among witches, now that would be a development. As for what you say, it's not worth much, but... And you're still in your loop. I think I'm gonna have to torture everyone in town by the time this is over. This is just what an investigation looks like in 1674. Alright, nobody's saying anything new, which means we've just got to continue the torture. Starting with you. We're doing the wrong thing. I mean, we've already tortured innocent people. Devil's Mark. To seal their filthy pact with the devil, he licks their body, leaving a blackened mark upon the witch's skin. This mark may hide just below the surface, but it can be unveiled with the pricking of the skin. Left click to pierce them until you find the hidden mark. How would I even know? God, what am I even looking for? I guess we actually found something. Or ruptured a blood vessel. Why is it you torture me when I tell you it's the blacksmith you want? He's a fork-tongued liar, and the witch that plagues our land. A foul buzzard who has given his jaw to Lucifer in exchange for the death of my sheep to try and drive me away from this place. It's quite an accusation. But there's nothing but accusations in this village, huh? Okay, we're familiar with this one. We need answers. The fact that we've done it before doesn't make it any better the second time, you know that? Ah, God, the sound work in this game. Like, not only is the soundtrack just excellent, just scraping the back of my neck, it feels like a witch's breath. But the sounds of torture are every bit as visceral as they need to be. Turn your torches away from me and hang that shepherd witch. May she curse your jaw to fall off and don't come greeting me to weld it back on. You must have seen that wee lamb's head she severed at my doorstep. And queer symbols and the poor thing's blood smeared all over my door. I saw blood upon the doorstep. No head. Believe me, I say true. Come to think of it, I've seen them same symbols out by the old woods. Oh no. Well, that brings us back to the crone who we just drowned. We've once again hit a dead end. Which means we can only get new information from you. Right? Right. We have to Devil's Mark you as well. How are we gonna tell this? Well, the good news is we've cured your lycanthropy. Can't you see this pursuit isn't folly? Find you no witches here, or anywhere for that matter. I beg you, sire, trouble us no more. A total waste of time, but I had to try. I was like, nobody else is talking. These slug creatures, the spider's hatchlings. God, we've just tortured everyone. We've literally tortured everyone at this point, and I'm pretty sure both of them have, like, they literally revealed no new information. Oh my god, we're the worst person here. They were unfortunate before. They're even worse off now that we're here. Well, you've no new dialogue, so we've gotta put you back in the screws. Tongue prongs again. He controls my fate as he sees fit. This must be a test. Why must he try me so with such cruel tortures? But it's not mine to question. I can only pray the suffering will cease, and I might join him at his side. I've lived piously and just. He will see that, surely. Not like the rest of the filth in this village. Take Shepherd Violet, for example. That husband of hers was a dunce. But there must be something far corrupt with her to drive him away. I bet she's in coven with that maiden. Alright, so we've got the multi-witch theory. Let's go torture her. Or talk to her. I'd rather talk to her. Doesn't really seem like we're obtaining anything valuable this way. But you're not saying anything new, so you get it. We're gonna drown you as well. Alright, I think when we reach this point right here, that's when we're gonna let you go. That didn't count? Okay, the top of it then. Try again. Ah, there's a bit of variation. Come on. Come on, man. Drown slower yet faster, please. I can take a little more of this torture. I admit I made lies about the blacksmith. I've seen him talking to no raven or wolf. I forgot to close the gate. And the death of sheep are naught but my own stupidity and carelessness. Perhaps that old fisherman is the witch ye seek. Appears as more beast than man. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one who ate my sheep. I really don't think so. But we can maybe tell the smith that that's not the case. Turn your torches away from me and hang that shepherd witch. No, you... Our only form of communication is torture right now. We can't bring up new insight. I've screwed things up. I should have only been going, I think. I would have probably been able to bring this stuff up if I hadn't tortured them first. Now it's the only thing we can do. Alright, let's break your thumbs. You've broken and beaten me. Can I not convince you? Do you take some wretched pleasure in our suffering? I am no witch. God granted I will have your confession. You'll have the truths you wish to hear, but not from me. The longer I spend here, like with my modern eye, the more convinced I become that none of these people are witches, and that the fisherman is in fact the only sane person in town. Maybe the key should be to be more persistent in torturing the priest. Come on, we'll find that devil's mark yet. There we go, we might as well expedite the process, right? I mean, you've all had it. I admit, I was tempted, and did covet relations with that temptress. A black goat did appear to me, and I begged it to let me bed that supple maiden. She should be mine. At least her lover will not return. I've seen to that. I've planted his skull at the roots of an old ash tree. Let me just enjoy this last tipple of wine before my end. So, you at least believe you communed with the devil out of lust? But you're also a murderer, and that's a hanging offense, buddy. God, this is just so, like, steeped in the old legends. We had a dream about the smith, but really I'm gonna hang the priest because he's a murderer and he's the only one who's admitted to anything, really. Let's do it. Father Useby. He's past his due. We get paid. And down he goes. And we leave town, never actually knowing if we made the right call or not, which of course we wouldn't. That is brilliant. I mean, look, this entire game, it's clearly meant to capitalize on the clash between the sensibilities of a modern player and the attitudes and beliefs of the time. We're working with exactly the same information, though, which is hearsay, rumors, superstition, and our own biases. Alright, I'm not done here. I'm gonna go through this again, this time not being so torture-happy, and see what we can derive on a subsequent playthrough. Oh, we've got a different dream. So this time, that'll be a trip to the Shepherd. Witchfinder. You see the curse that's been laid upon me? Blah, blah, blah. So this time I've got your confession a little bit earlier, so I can return to the ring, and maybe we can tell her? We can't. But we can't get that far with the priest, I think, unless we torture you. I have a confession from... we can bring this to other people. I have a confession from Useby. Perhaps ye speak true? Well, of course I'm right. Absolutely. Now, nothing gets by old Griselda. How dare you even question me in my own house? And who are you, anyway? Get out of here. See, I wonder if the dreams are meant to guide us, or if they are actually just a red herring. And they seem to point to everyone and no one. Well, now we have the confession from the priest, we have the accusation rescinded from the shepherd, but we have not tortured the fisherman. So can we tell him? No, we can't. Alright then, what if we just keep torturing you? And I hate this, but it's kind of the only way to experiment. There are certain things where it feels like I should be able to inform people about that I can't. But maybe that's because of my widespread torture? I confess to being the witch. Please torture me no more. I slaughtered my own sheep and sacrificed to the devil himself. It was a curse to drop that flap and draw from the blacksmith and end his insufferable yappin'. Hang me now, so I may be rid of this awful place. Foul witch, you'll hang soon enough. But of course, that's... We can torture anyone as much as we want, but that doesn't mean their confession is true. It just means they wanted it to stop so badly they were willing to die to make it stop. The priest is the only person I'm still comfortable with hanging. What if we keep torturing the priest after his confession? Yep. Ah, yeah, dunk the priest. I remember when we used to play this. Yep. Excommunication is actually still a thing, you know? Yeah. Ah, it's gonna overshoot. When you will, I am ready. I have no more to say to you. Yeah, I figured. It was just funny. And if I keep torturing you farther... Remember, the first run is the canon one. In the first run, I'd call that a medium ending. I tortured everyone, but I killed a murderer. We never did find a witch. Oh my god. When my love returns, you'll regret the hands you laid upon me. I tell you, the evil that besets this village is the grasp of the priest. I've seen him dance in a jig, with imps in that kirk of his, making merriment and cavorting with all manner of beasties. When have you seen this? All the time, sir. I'm sure this is the witch you seek. Perchance that old crone in the woods. Men who walk in there never return. She says she turns them into the trees. My love entered the woods and has never returned. But only now we can tell you, Useby has confessed to the slaughter of your young Gavin. No. Why would you say these wicked things to me? My Gavin must be alive. Mustn't he? That wicked, filthy, wretched villain. Only one in league with the devil himself would perform such an evil act on my poor, sweet, innocent Gavin. Furnish that craven with necklace, a jute? I want to see him dance his last jig. And he did in an alternate universe, but I want to see what happens when I hang the wrong person. Probably nothing different. Alright, well, it was one of yous. I'm choosing randomly. We obviously know the priest is the right choice. The smith. The one guy who we got a rescinded confession from. I just think it'll be funny. I want to see what happens when we do it wrong. Up you go. And you know what? That was actually precisely the result I was hoping for, which is that it's exactly the same, because how would we get confirmation? This isn't something you can prove. We can torture out a confession, which that second run was so valuable because it proves that we will get a confession if we just torture long enough. Or maybe we take someone's absolute resistance as proof of their witchcraft. We got really, really lucky that somebody in town had committed an actual crime because, although we never got any direct confirmation of the crazy things we were seeing in our dreams, well, those dreams never really led us anywhere, but sometimes it felt like they were. And that's the cool thing. It very much puts us... It takes our modern sensibilities, but over time, it puts us into the mindset of this witch hunter. Because sometimes our dreams would seemingly lead us to something new, mainly because if you talk to or torture people long enough, you will get a new lead. But we take that as confirmation that we're being divinely directed. I thought it was a little frustrating at times that there were certain things I couldn't go and relay to other characters. But as far as those blocks when it comes to torture, well, yeah, it makes sense that torture is kind of a final severing of our relationship with certain characters, and once it's done, they don't want to cooperate with us anymore. Well, except under more torture. The lack of any real definitive win or lose condition, and just the devotion to atmosphere and creepy vibes in this shows me that is the point. It's about allowing us to have an experience that we wouldn't normally have. It's very easy for us to look back on these times as being barbaric and honestly stupid. But when it immerses us in these dark forests and talking to all these seemingly monstrous people, it makes us think that in a world with such lack of information and with so many superstitions forming our worldview, it can be easy to get suckered into these things and following clues that aren't necessarily really meaning anything. I mean, we showed up and spread so much misery to every single person in town that's already dealt with so much. And in the end, through our torture, we received 2 false confessions to witchcraft. And neither of them were even guilty. It's entirely possible that I'm missing stuff here, and it's entirely possible that we hung a murderer but not a witch when there really was one afoot. But I'm also leaving thinking it's just as likely there never was one, and I think that's exactly the right place for this to be. But I'm not going to go pouring over every possibility in this video in order to show you everything. If you have other ideas for things to try, I definitely think you should pick this up for yourself, because this game deserves probably a lot more recognition than it's getting. It's one of the more unique adventure games I've ever played in its style and its tone, and in the themes that it's attempting to get across. Like, it really captures the period in a way that I think marries the player and the gameplay in a cool way. And those cutscenes, man, those dreams, I can't tell if that's all in-engine or if it's stop motion, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. The way it emulates this, 30s film aesthetic, it's just an absolutely beautiful game to look at and listen to. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.